The Barstar Podcast, hosted by Stephen O'Reilly, is a podcast about working musicians, their friends, and their opinions. Stephen is a musician in Louisville, Kentucky, who has... Wait a second. This guy's a drummer, not a real musician? Somebody gave a drummer a microphone for his voice? The hell? Unreal. Unbelievable.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Barstar Podcast. I am your host, Stephen O'Reilly. I want to thank you guys for coming back once again to hang out with me. I appreciate the support. You guys are kicking ass, and I am very grateful. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody had a good week. And as always, I hope you guys went out and did some shit. Please make sure you check out my sponsor, Prophecy Inc. They are a big supporter of the show, and as most of you know by now, I am a huge supporter of them. If you go into the shop, located in the fabulous Highlands, and mention the Barstar Podcast, you will get 10% off your tattoo by any artist in the shop. So make sure you go check them out. You'll get a deal on a tattoo. You mention the Barstar Podcast, they win, I win, and you get some good ink. As you've figured out from reading the description, I am not flying solo today. I am hanging out with the illustrious, the very handsome, very boisterous, smooth, velvety voice of a one Mr. Scott Clark.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's good to be here. Thanks for having me. I like me some Barry White. Oh yeah.
What's going on, man? How are you, sir?
I used to, when people ask me that, I would tell them honestly, shit sucks. Dad's dying. Just had to fix my mom's estate sale. And honestly, these days, what I'm saying is, I'm better than I deserve.
Nice.
My life is amazing.
You look great.
I'm turning my head to the side. You talking about this cat box?
No, I'm talking about you, brother. You look great.
I feel great. I've made sure I'm doing work for I'm doing work, son. Doing work for my body, trying to make sure that my wife and I are doing the right thing with the diet and exercise and things like that. It's kind of, he ran out of the room. He's running out the room to change the temperature on the stuff and the stuff.
Oh yeah, everybody, it's a good time.
You weren't supposed to call me out. That's fucked up.
Oh no, that's the whole point. You got to describe what's going on in the situation. That's good pod. That's good pod.
I know.
And the setup that we have here, folks that you don't know, I feel like George Burns and Gracie Allen. There's like an old timey microphone in front of us, which I would normally go, "What the hell is this shit, man?" It actually, if you listen to this podcast before, it sounds amazing.
Oh,
and
thanks.
It's two guys, and I've listened to Dave Moody's podcast.
Yep.
Super old friend.
Yep.
Chuck Deering, in a band with the guy. Love him.
Super
hot. Old friend. I would bang Chuck Deering. I would bang Christy Deering to bang Chuck. Let's be honest. That's weird. And I know Christy knows what I mean. She knows I'm joking.
But it works.
It does work.
I'm with you.
And then you had Jesse Vest. Mm-hmm. Remind me to tell you the Jesse Vest story.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, it's going to be good. But we have it looks like an old-timey microphone between two people sitting in Steve
office.
and Stacy's wife. Stacy's wife? Steve and Stacy's.
Not Stacy's mom.
No, it's not. No, that would be weird. That was a whole nother video.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm in Steve and Stacy's, and it looked weird, but if you've ever listened to this podcast, it sounds great, and I like his setup.
Thanks.
How about that?
Thanks. I
like your
it.
setup, son.
Thanks. I did post I don't remember how many weeks ago it is because you've listened to enough of my shows. My timeline memory blows. But when I had Jessica on here, Jessica A from Wax Factory, she kept staring at like this, and I just kept calling her out. So
it's not a.
I was like, dude,
and she's super cool.
Oh, I love Jess. But anyway,
I've only seen her on Facebook. Got to meet her a couple weeks ago up at Wix in New Albany.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh, she's.
But
awesome.
I posted a picture of this mic. So it is on the Barstar page.
Okay.
So you had to go to the Barstar page and find it.
So what are we talking about next? There's a cat. There's a cat whining in the background.
That's my buddy Sebastian.
Hey, pussy, come on up in here. Come on now.
Sebastian's been on the show. He was on Todd's episode. He decided he was going to make his debut on Todd's episode.
Now, I wouldn't be a good friend or a good pod guest.
I like that.
Sebastian. Mm-hmm. Where did you get Sebastian?
My wife named him Sebastian.
From?
She said, and I quote, "He just looks like a Sebastian." Not a cool story.
What was that terrible TV show in the 70s?
Which one? There was shit tons. Now, my other cat, China, this is way cooler
The
than
Butler
anything
was
you were gonna say.
Sebastian, is what I'm getting at. Because I know you like Butler, as this thing goes back to your Jesse Vest podcast. But Sebastian was the Butler on, what's the name of the damn show?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Man.
But what I was going to tell you is my other cat, China, his name, watch where. It will pop. I'm telling you, this mic will pick up a fart in church down the street. My other cat's China. See, told you. He got his name because when we got him, he was a little baby fucker. And he used to sleep in the bell of one of my China symbols.
Like?
Yeah, in the bell.
In the bell?
Yep, of my China symbol.
Of a China, not a crash, not a splash.
Nope. For like 3 days, because Stacy and I have always had this rule: they'll name themselves.
3 points for knowing a splash in a China. I want the inevitable. I want the high five on the mic.
You want a high five in the microphone already?
Come on.
You just don't fuck around, do you?
Come on, give it to me. I've been listening to this podcast forever. That was terrible. Now here's the trick.
Take two. You gotta look at the elbow.
Now here's the trick. Look at the elbow.
Look at the elbow.
If you want to give anyone a high five and make sure that you're cool, look at the person's elbow that you're high fiving, and you will sound like this.
Wait. Freeze. Are we doing the clean elbow or the dirty one?
It doesn't matter. It's still an elbow. See how that sounded? Look at the person's elbow, and you'll be the best high fiver ever.
It will work every time. Okay.
All right.
So let's be serious.
I got to keep telling myself this is your interview because I've never been interviewed.
Well, you're not going to be interviewed now, so I hate to burst your fucking
bubble. Oh, jeez. Where's the window? Where's it? Okay. God, I'm going to jump out the window.
But I am going to ask you some random questions.
Please.
Now, you and I know each other through me moving up here to be in Heaven Hill.
Yes.
That is how we met.
Yes. We were at 4th Street Live, as I remember.
I will trust you because you've listened to enough of my shows. My memory blows.
We were both on a lot of drugs back then. It's okay. We're not now.
That's true.
But it was at 4th Street Live. The first time you and I hung out and talked. Like where we had a conversation.
Was that the Finger 11 show? When we opened for Finger 11?
Don't talk about... My nephews and nieces might listen. You're talking about fingering. Oh, Finger 11, the band. I have no idea. I just know that I was introducing you all.
I had an explicit warning on my show. Now I got a fucked up warning on my show. Way to go.
He just said fucked. Twice.
So we met roughly 11 years ago.
Okay.
Because that's when I moved up here.
Okay.
You were in radio. You were on the Fox, and what was the other station?
I was director of promotions for 93.1. At the time, it was 100.5 The Fox. And then I was also KJ 1080 and 790 WKRD. On the air, I did a sports show where I filled in whenever Dave Jennings wrecked his garage. And listen, I'm not talking shit. I love Dave Jennings. And if it wasn't for Dave Jennings, I would not have got any sports radio stuff. But whenever Dave was late, now keep in mind, Dave was running, he was second in command for HAS and a bunch of stations at Clear Channel.
Right.
So he had a lot to do.
Right.
So if he was ever running behind, if someone had to fill in for the Joby and Denny show, I got the call. Now I'm a huge U of L fan. I'm sitting next to Denny Crum. Now I actually knew Denny for years. I sold him his first cell phone. Denny Crum. By the way, folks, you can try these if you'd like, and I don't care. His one cell phone number is 552-1980, and his other number is 558-1996. Or, I'm sorry, 1986. I know those for a fact because I got them for him. This was years ago. So I'm sitting with Joby and Denny Hall. I'm just some stupid morning, evening, midnight, whatever time it was, disc jockey on the Fox, and they call me and go, You know sports. Would you do the sports show? Dave Jennings can't show up. Oh, okay. So I
Now,
did that.
As cool as that is, you do see this weird deer in the headlight look I got
You
going
don't
on.
know anything about sports.
I have no fucking idea
we've
who
talked
you're talking
it.
about.
I'm just so happy that Teddy Bridgewater is now with the Jets. And he's going to be third or second string. He had a great OTA today. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
no, I was director of promotions for the Fox.
Right.
And it included a couple stations.
Right.
And we basically took care of the rock side.
Right.
And when I met you all, I was basically any event, any concert, anything that kind of happened in the area. I was the guy that went.
You always brought us on stage.
I booked everything.
Right.
Got everything paid for, and then
Right.
I would go on stage and introduce people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because, and the only reason I bring that up is that's my first memory of you.
Yes, and
was
that's my first memory of you.
bringing us on stage. And then my second memory of you is.
I'm scared to hear that.
Oh no, it's good.
Okay, good.
No, I have a good story where I'm going to throw you under the bus, but that's
That's all right.
a little
Please
bit-
do. Please. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I'm 47. Nobody cares.
You know that's my favorite number, right?
What's 42?
Yours is 42.
Ronnie Lott. San Francisco 49ers. Ronnie Lott. 42.
Stop. Enough with the fucking sports.
All right. What's fucking
I'll
sports?
shut you the fuck down. I'm going to rub your leg first, but I'm going to shut
You know,
you the
Purvis
fuck down.
Ellison had 42 and 43.
Will you shut up and listen?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So anyway, my second memory of you is whatever show it was. Well, I'll go with you and say it was 4th Street because I honestly don't remember.
All right.
Because when I moved up here for Heaven Hill, we did but we did like 5-6 shows in a 3-month period.
Fuck yeah, you did.
We killed it. But
Yeah, Chuck and Teague.
Yeah.
That's my boys.
I know. My second memory of you, one of those shows, whenever I walked off stage, you looked at me and said, "Where the fuck did you come from?"
That sounds like something I would say.
Or something to that effect. And
Who the fuck are you, and why don't I know who you are? That's probably what I
That's
said.
probably actually what you said. That sounds more accurate.
You are fucking amazing, and I don't know who you are, and that's really weird to me.
That's probably more accurate.
Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind.
You grew up here.
I grew up in garage bands. I mean, you think about like the first gig I ever did. Rocky Knight from QMF introduced my band at the male Battle of the Bands, the male high school Battle of the Bands.
Damn.
I was dating a 17-year-old. Her parents owned Corfridge landscaping.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm 20. She's 17. It was super hot. So I did the male Battle of the Bands, and the band was called A to Z because we played everything from A to Z. Yeah, we came in second. But I remember Rocky Knight introduced the band.
Right.
And I have the video of that. I know you've got somewhere in here, you've got a bunch of videotapes.
To your
Yeah,
left.
right there.
Yeah, they are.
You did that with Ryan. To your right. I mean, to your left. To your
Yeah.
other left.
Your other that was my fault, not Ryan's
But
fault.
I've shown video. Rocky and I have gone to the Dominican Republic together. I actually worked on some electricity at Rocky's place. Rocky and I have been old friends for a long time.
Nice.
And the fact that I have a video of him introducing us at the first gig I ever did and on videotape is amazing to me. And I'll never forget his joke. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a light green Pinto outside. It's not blocking anything, or you're not in any trouble, but you're making the place look like crap. And I've used that, and anybody that is listening to this that knows me knows that I've used that
Yes, you have.
more than once.
You've used it for Heaven Hill.
Rocky Knight is a great guy and a great friend, a great mentor.
That's awesome.
Him and his wife Mickey still come out to see events every now and then, and we hang out. And when my wife doesn't like a whole lot of people, certainly doesn't like a whole lot of my friends, but she
Gee,
always
I wonder why.
responds. Probably a good idea. She always responds to Rocky.
Probably why my wife doesn't like a lot of
Rocky
my
Knight.
friends.
You're not blocking anybody, but you're making the place look like crap. I love Rocky.
All right, so that is how we met. Now, how long did you just blanket? I don't want dirty, gnarly details. 'Cause I don't give a shit about that
Sure.
stuff. Doesn't interest me. But how long did you do radio?
Well, let's be fair about the conversation. I wanted to be in radio since I was a little kid.
Right.
My parents left Louisville and moved to Fayetteville for 6 months, then to Myrtle Beach
Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Yep.
Played
And
there a few times.
Yep. And then to, Bordeaux, the Bordeaux Theater. With the big...
Yes,
It was
yes.
a fake...
It took me a minute.
It was a fake...
Took me a minute.
Eiffel
I never
Tower.
played there, but I know where
You know what I'm talking
you're talking about. Yeah.
and about 6 months after that, we moved to Myrtle Beach. And we've been there. Went
there.
I went to middle school there, 7th, 8th, and 8th grade, as I like to say. Thanks, Mom.
That's okay. I did.
Mom, that was Mom's decision, not mine.
That's all right. I can actually make you feel better about your 7th, 8th, and 8th grade. I did 9th, quit, 9th, 10th, quit, 10th, quit.
And look at you now.
Microphone.
So, when I was in Myrtle Beach, there was a little radio station right across the park from my house called WNMB.
Right.
And and I would, on, Friday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever night it was, that we were latchkey kids. My parents didn't give a shit what I did. I would walk around the park. It was dark. As long as I was home by dark or somewhere shortly thereafter, they didn't give a shit. They were drinking in the bed. They were done. They didn't give a shit. So I went to this place called WNMB, North Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, and there was a guy there named Barry Ballard. He was on the air he basically did the nights on WNMB. Now, years later, the place that I worked every summer was called the OD Pavilion. It's in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right on Main Street. It's been through hurricanes and everything else. And there was a guy there that worked there named Mike Wooldridge, who I was probably 13, 14, and he was probably 19, 20.
Right.
We befriended each other, and I was there after school every day because that was my boy.
Yeah.
I got free video games. I mean, this is 1984.
Yeah.
I'm like, video games, free, Galaga. I love this shit. So I got all the free video games, and I would sweep up the place. We'd get a pizza, and we'd hang out. And his best friend was Barry Ballard.
Gotcha.
And so I would go watch this guy whenever I wanted. I'd just walk into the studio. What's up, Barry? And I'd watch him be on the air, and I was fascinated.
Nice.
I knew that's what I wanted to do the second I saw it. Now, transport a couple years later at 16, before there was hair downstairs, so probably more like 17, my voice changed.
Right.
And everyone said, you've got a voice for radio. So the voice you're hearing me talk about right now is the same voice I had at 16. That's all anyone ever said to me my entire life. You should be in radio.
Well, at least I didn't tell you had a face for radio.
I got that too.
I mean, I got that too. I'm just saying.
But I know it's not true. So
I know it's not about me.
I'm a good-looking motherfucker. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Oh my God, you're so cute.
Double high five. So basically, at an early age, my voice changed and sounded like it does now, and I knew it. And I had people tell me that all the time. And I was already fascinated.
Salty Myrtle Beach air.
I was already fascinated with radio.
Right.
So then I got the opportunity to start talking about these things and could see what I was doing. And so I studied radio from this little bitty station in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to Charlie Steele from QMF is now on WKZQ in Myrtle Beach. And when he got that job a few months ago, I was like, here's the 7 things that I remember from when I was a kid. It's time to turn so you don't burn. That's one of the... Now, also, you want to make sure you talk about the burbs. Sockasty. You want to talk about Waccamaw. You want to talk about North Myrtle Beach. You want to talk about Windy Hill, Ocean Drive, Cherry Grove. I made a list for stuff for Charlie Steele. I mean, it gets in your brain. I ever wanted to do. There. He's not from there. Charlie Steele's actually from Newcastle, Kentucky, became a jock up there, then got assistant program director at Fox and QMF.
Right.
And then the whole Michael Lee debacle happened. And we got sat in an office with the boss, and he goes, after someone was fired, and they went, who's going to be the boss? And I looked at Charlie, and Charlie looked at me, and I went, do you want things to keep going the way they're going and be successful? The guy went, yeah. And I went, Charlie Steele's the boss. I'm the assistant. Why would you say that? Because we've been running this whole way the whole time. He's the boss. He knows what he's doing. I'm the assistant. I do what he says. It's really simple. And we kept that going until it changed to 93.1. We kept that going until the very end when they said, oh, your job's, here's a very large check.
Right.
Take the rest of the year off. Dwight Whitten always jokes and goes, so you got fired. I was like, I've been fired from a lot of jobs that I never got a large check. So you can call it fired. I call it, I was asked to leave politely.
I was going to say handsomely let go.
So all I ever wanted to do was be in radio.
Well, wait, hang on. Because you lost me a little bit.
All right.
Not going to lie to you.
I do that.
Well, you do this when we're just hanging out.
Yes.
At least here I have the power to edit your ass. No. You said that you met Charlie in Myrtle Beach?
No.
You're just talking about when he just moved to Myrtle Beach, you sent him that stuff.
Yeah, he just moved to Myrtle Beach.
No, I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, just
a couple.
But I was like, whatever you need to know, I got it. I'm from there. I know everything about that town.
I'm with you.
Call me. And if you want to do, I literally was like, I'll do voiceovers. Please. I've got a studio at the house.
I like doing voiceovers.
So when did you get your first on-air gig?
I want to first give a little credit.
And how bad did it suck?
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, damn.
My
first gig sucked.
No, I should have my dick bronzed. That was that good.
I don't know if they pour that little bronze.
You got to keep in mind, at the time, it was, first of all, when I was in Whatever Will, I told everyone in the band, because we would play gigs at Phoenix Hill and all Butchertown and all the other places, and I'd go, I'm going to get to know all these disc jockeys, right. And whenever this band stops, I'm going to get a job in radio. And they were like, fuck you, you don't know. Hell no, you're like.
So you never got a job in radio in Myrtle Beach?
No.
Okay.
No,
you
nothing.
just studied your ass off.
Studied radio. That's all I ever wanted to do. So I studied, no matter what station I was, whatever city. I remember coming back and going to high school, Wagner High School, and listening to when Ron Clay passed away and Rocky got the job to be Troy and Barry's sidekick. I was in a band with Barry. It's crazy.
Nice.
And Barry, I love Barry. Troy Roebuck, we know each other. We're kind of go. But I've been on vacation to the Dominican with Rocky Knight. It was crazy. I studied radio my entire life. That's all I ever wanted to do up until that point.
Right.
So I kept telling the guys in the band, I'm going to get to know all these disc jockeys. I'm going to befriend them. And when this whole band thing ends, I'm going to get on the radio. Nobody believed me. I didn't believe me. I was talking shit. I got to be honest. And I'm not kidding. It couldn't have been 4 weeks. Maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks after Whatever Will retired the first of 14 times that Vanetti called me. And Vanetti and I go way back.
Right.
He called me and goes, you've always talked about being on the air. We're looking for new people. Come on in. And I came in. And like, I was like, I don't give it. I'll hang banners. I don't care. I'll be the intern. So I did an internship for one night. The Tool concert at Freedom Hall.
Right.
It's 20-something thousand people.
What year was this? Late night. Time period.
2002. Because we retired in 2001, so it had been 2002.
Okay.
I retired the first time. And
14.
I was like, yeah, sure. I'm super happy. I'll do this. So I'm hanging banners with the interns that are like 14 years old.
Right.
I'm probably 28. But I'm hanging banners and I don't care.
Right.
This is the opportunity I've always wanted. And they went, stop hanging banners. What? It's like, come with us. So it's basically anybody that knows the city. I mean, obviously you know Vanetti, Bob O'Reilly, Black Frank.
Great last name.
Triple X Lex. Those were the guys, and they were like, and Triple X Lex and I were actually camp counselors together at YMCA Camp Yamingo. So we've known each other for years, and he's on the air.
Right.
And he knows, of course, if you're the kid that's trying to get in there, everyone's going to fight you a little bit and make sure that you're not a douchebag.
Right.
I'm totally a douchebag.
You are.
But
you're our douchebag. And we love you.
Sean and Frank say that all the time. God, I guess I have to own it. So at that concert, I'm hanging around. It's like, stop doing it. And we went on stage and they went, you're introducing the band. This is my first week at the radio station in front of a sold out Freedom Hall.
20,000 people.
More than, I think it was 22. And they handed the mic. What's up, motherfuckers?
And
I introduced the band like anybody else would. And now Black Frank Webb, great dude. Helped me a lot along the way.
Met him once.
You had to have. He did he basically was the metal guy at the Fox all those years. Great guy. He was not happy that night. He didn't know who I remember him distinctly going, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And basically they went, "He's the guy that's doing better than you." I respect Black Frank. He's been a great friend. He's done nothing but help me throughout the years. We're friends. Every time I see him, I hug him. But that night, could you imagine being the guy that's trying to get on stage with Vanetti and everyone else on stage, and some kid that you've never met walks on stage and does that? But that was my first night.
I've been that guy, only it was behind a set of drums.
So I introduced Tool in front of 22,000 people on my first night, and I didn't deserve it. And Black Frank deserved that night. He really deserved that night. So
and you stole it from him.
I did not steal anything. I was given that, and I took it and ran.
You were
and
given
if you're
the
listening, Frank Webb, you know how much I love you. We're still friends. It was not my fault. It was theirs. But yeah, I took that shit and I ran with it. And I became the boss.
I have a rule. Not a rule. I shouldn't even call it a rule. I don't even know what you call it. Something I firmly believe in. Don't fuck anybody over on purpose.
No.
But if you're handed an opportunity,
don't waste it.
Don't waste it.
No.
If anybody gets butt hurt in the process, that's their problem.
Now, I apologize to him.
Oh, absolutely.
I figured out what happened, and I felt terrible. And to this day, obviously from this story, I feel terrible about it. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
No. I didn't even know him. I'd never met him before. He'd never met me. That's why he went, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Right.
And he's like, he's our next guy. And weird enough, I ended up being director of promotions and deciding who got what. And I tried to give him every gig I can give him. And he's still a great friend and a great guy. And he did more for the Fox, especially with the metal and music and hard bands,
right,
than anyone will ever give him credit for. He's amazing.
Nice.
You did not have anything that was heavy other than pop, whatever Top 40 was.
Right.
He was the guy that made the Fox. He basically made half of the Fox himself.
Right.
Black Frank Webb. He's
nice.
amazing.
I'm pretty sure I've met him before.
I bought a car from him once.
The problem, the biggest problem I have, I joke about my memory. My memory's not really real shitty. It's kind of shitty on timelines and dates. I'm fucking horrible with that. But
you're also bad with names.
Oh, I'm shit.
No, I've heard all the last 5 podcasts.
I'm horrible.
Please don't ask me to do names.
Oh, dude, I won't.
So what's his face did what's stuff in the stuff?
Yeah, but you also put this stuff in the stuff. I like that. But you also know, I'll tell a motherfucker straight up, dude, I do not know your name.
You know what? Own it.
I do. I own it.
Listen, I know you. I know you're cool.
I know we've met.
I cannot remember your name.
Yeah.
Don't judge me.
Right.
That's coming up in social media issues.
But what I was getting at is when I first moved here, I met so many fucking people.
Fuck yeah.
So fucking fast.
It's huge.
Well, I was pretty fortunate. I mean, I was given the opportunity, just like we were just talking about.
You were in a great band.
I came into a band that was already established. And I came from 800 miles away. I didn't know anybody up here. And they all went,
ATL.
High five in a microphone. That was the best one so far. And we did that first show, and it's and I'm going, I have people soup. Leave me the fuck alone. I just want to go outside and have a coffee.
Soup. Dude, I say it all the time.
Oh, I had soup. People soup, man. I couldn't figure out anything.
I say the word soup all the time about that. I mean, think about being on the air in a band, 20 years, radio, TV, whatever it is, soup.
Oh, I get it.
I just can't.
No, dude,
you learn 4 or 5 phrases. What's up, Chief? Hey, buddy. Hey, what's happening, my man? Son. You do the Jerry Reed. Son.
My favorite one is Dane Cook. I don't know if you're a fan of his or not, and I don't really care, but he was talking about that very thing, and he goes, "This is my go-to all the time. You.
What is he doing? Doing Robert De Niro?
Yep.
You are the you and the you with the you and the you the time that you and you did you and you. I love you.
That's pretty much it.
And the you. Oh, but don't forget the you. I do this all day.
And your sister, the you.
I do, but I got the face on going.
You do got the face going.
You, Karen. That's a little deep pull.
It was a little. That was good. All right, so we got through all that bullshit. When did you get out of radio? When did you get handsomely let go?
Handsomely let go. And it's a great story. You know, listen, a lot of people get fired from jobs. I've been fired from a lot of fucking jobs. But I've never been fired from a job where the general manager of the company cried. The super bitch controller went, "That's our phone. It's our phone. You can't have the phone." And the human resources director went, "Oh, no, he bought that special phone, so no, it's his phone." Well, we get his contacts. That's his contact. She went, "No, that's..." Wink, wink. No, she's winking at me the whole time going, "No, it's special. It was a Trio 750, like this weird computer phone. Before there were smartphones, it was like a $900 phone." She lied and let me keep all my contacts and everything. And no, it's his phone. It's his phone. And the control's like, "Fuck you." And then the boss actually looked at me. Kevin Hughes was his name. And I saw him years later, and he literally stopped me at Horseshoe Casino and went, "It's the hardest fucking day of my life, man. I went home and drank until I passed out."
Damn.
It was like, it was hard. "You have done so much for this company." And I was told your figures, because of numbers. I made $22,000 a year as director of promotions for the Fox. That was my salary, $22,000 a year. I made $58,000 that year, which means $36,000 was me doing gigs at the Phoenix Hill Booty Shake Contest,
right?
The Butchertown, whatever, the Buffalo Wild Wings. I literally made more doing gigs than I did for my actual on air, and I did every concert, every gig, everything you heard on the air. I had to write.
Right.
So when they said, "This weekend at Buffalo Wild Wings," blah, 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 that was me. I wrote all that stuff and just gave it to the disc jockeys, which they could either improvise or just read.
Right.
And most of them chose to just read what I wrote. I wrote all that stuff for years. So basically, when iHeartMedia bought out Clear Channel, there was 3 director promotions. Me, Kelly, Burton, and Ron and Mel. Ron and Mel, I can't think of Ron's last name. Ron and Mel were for HAS. Everybody knows Ron and Mel. So it was Ron, me, and Kelly. And I kept joking, going, "I'm going to get fired." I'm like, "You're not going to get fired." I was like, "I'm telling you right now, Black Friday for radio is coming up. You know, they got rid of these people last year. This year it's going to be me, Rocky Knight. It's going to be Chris McGill. It's going to be this person." They're going, "You're not going to get fired." And I'm going, "I'm getting fired." And they went, "Scott, if you were getting fired, I would fucking know about it. If you don't stop talking about getting fucking fired, I'm going to fucking fire you." And I went, "Ah, ha, ha, ha." So that Friday before Thanksgiving, I wore all black and I drove in my black Miata because I was cool.
I drove a Miata.
I did. It was awesome. It's like a go-kart.
I said earlier you're our douchebag.
I'm certainly a douchebag now.
You're a platinum douchebag.
I know, but man, I didn't know. That was the first time I've been able to spend $20,000 on a car. I didn't know any better. It was fast. I loved it.
And it was little.
And I'm a little guy. I was like, go-kart. So I drove that.
You're not platinum anymore because that was a good save. Go-kart.
I drove it to work, and I was literally listening to Steely Dan's Black Friday. When Black Friday comes, I got to do the whole way to work. And I walked in, I had 2 bosses. I had Charlie Steele, and I had Kelly Burton, who were my director of promotions. Charlie Steele was my on-air boss.
Right.
And I walked in, I was like, "Today's the day I get fired." And she goes, "If you say it again, I'm going to fire you yourself." Myself. Whatever. And then the vice president Kelly fucking Carls. I fucking hate you, and I will stab you if I ever get the chance. So walk down the hallway. While I'm standing there saying that to Kelly, went, yeah, Scott, we need to go up and see you in the president's office. And I looked at her and I went, I told you so. And I walked up there, sat down, and I had the whole thing with the one girl from, that's not his cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's his cell phone, and one girl helping me. And the boss comes up and gives me a check for $26,000. I think at this point I can say it.
Statute of limitations is gone.
Take the rest of the year off. I'm so sorry. You did nothing wrong. If we can hire you back, you're the first guy that's going to be hired back. Your unemployment, taken care of. But security's going to have to walk you out of here. And I went, oh, that's a great idea. By the way, I just want to remind you, I still work for U of L, and I got to do the Cardinal Insider at 5 o'clock. Oh, and after that, at 7, I get on a plane with Bobby Petrino, and we're going to fly out to Tampa. So I still need the $14,000 worth of equipment in that box. And I'm going to be on the air at 5 o'clock in 2 hours. So you all figure it out. And they went, we forgot about all that stuff. I was like, so you want to lock me out of my office? So the human resources girl took me out of my office, and I literally went, ticket, first place, front row, da-da-da-da. Everything I could think of at the moment.
Are you serious?
Shoved it in a box, and she went, take it all.
Nice.
I shoved every prize, everything I could think of in a box, and ran out of that place. And then 2 hours, I went and got as hammered as I could get. I just lost my job.
Right.
My phone is turned off. My wife sees it on TV that I'm fired.
You hadn't even told her yet?
But she can't get a hold of me. What am I going to go to a pay phone?
Right.
I don't know her work number. Who knows someone's work number? So I went and got hammered, and then I had to go back and do a 2-hour radio show for U of L on the Clear Channel station, then walk out of the building with $14,000 worth of broadcast equipment and get on a plane and fly to Tampa. Thank you.
Damn.
Well, obviously somebody didn't pay attention. And then the following Monday and the following Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was still on the Cardinal Insider every day at 5 o'clock for about another year and a half.
Did you do it at the studio?
Yeah. That was part of the deal. And Phoenix Hill, Ben Rogers, Frankie Rogers,
I love Frank.
they went, no. He still does our Friday night happy hour and our booty shake contest on Wednesday. That was $600 a week. Nope, he still does it. Or we'll cancel our whole ad buy.
Ad campaign, yeah.
And they went, no, it's still Scott. Screw you guys. And what are they going to say? No. So the year I was laid off, I made $56,000 that year. And the guys at Headliners went, yeah, come down and bartend. You're on full time now.
Now I remember that.
And I did it as a goof.
Rephrase it. I remember you telling me that.
I did it as a goof in the beginning. You all need some help. Why don't I just go on the other side of the bar and help you out? I'm going to be on this side drinking for free, or I can be on that side drinking for free and help you out when you need it. I don't care about the money.
Right.
And I did that for about a year. But I made what I made that year, the following year, for nothing. This city will take care of you if you're a good guy.
Oh, I agree with that completely. It's taken care of me since I moved up here, and it's done some cool shit.
It's a good city.
It is. My biggest bitch, and I've said it on a few episodes. Trying to think of the last episode I said it on, which is really fucking irrelevant. Edit. I said it on the last...
Edit.
Who is this edit fucking person?
You want to go smoke and edit?
No, I'm not going to edit, but I will pause, smoke, pee, and get a coffee.
I like it.
Okay, so we really did pause and go pee and all kinds of other crap.
Yep.
But the biggest reason was I needed more coffee.
Yes.
I had to have more coffee.
Coffee seems to be the theme.
It is always a theme with me, sir.
At 10:30 at night when you're doing a podcast and I'm 47 years old, you goddamn well better have some coffee.
Well, I got decaf. I mean, if you're a pussy.
No, I don't. I want that one more. That sounded good. It's good pod. Good pod.
Good pod. Okay, so before we started recording, you started to tell me something about this podcast, and you said, nope, I'm going to wait. What were you talking about?
You had asked me when you wanted to start doing this podcast, did I have any advice?
Yeah, because I sent you a link a long time ago. Or actually, no, it wasn't even a link. It was one of my first trial runs.
And I refused to listen.
Yes, that was the part I wanted to know. Why?
Because it's exactly what I wanted to do.
You wanted to do a podcast?
What you're doing right now is exactly what I was going to do. But I didn't have the time or the patience to do it. And you had the wherewithal to do it.
I like
So
how
it
you use
kinda
that
hurt
big
my
word,
wherewithal.
I like that.
I was...
Were you butthurt? Did I butthurt you?
No, you beat me. You did what I wanted to do. I don't know how to say it. You did what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the time or the patience to do it or the wherewithal to get it done. And you did it. And then you wanted my... And I'm like, God, now he wants my advice. And like, he wants my time to listen. Jesus Christ.
Fuck that guy.
What do I know? And then when I listened to the first one, I think the first one I listened to was the Dave Moody episode.
Right.
And I'd go way back with Dave Moody.
Right.
And you blew me away.
Aw.
You're the way that you know, interviewing people. I actually have notes. Would you like to see the notes? Or should I start talking about the notes?
Hey kids, this is for fucking real. He really does have notes. I like that notebook too, by the way. That's
You know,
cool.
when I first started interviewing people, the thing that I always wanted to be the fan of that person.
Right.
Ask that person, whoever's listening is a fan.
Right.
What do they want to know?
Right.
If you're a fan, what do you want to know from
Right.
that guy? So I always said, ask a question, get out of the fucking way. And you do that. You really do a great job. Now, you didn't know how to interview people.
No.
You never had any training.
No, and I still don't really think I interview people. I just ask questions that I genuinely want to know.
Ask questions, get out of the way.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
do great at that. And then the other thing that you do is great is you reply with something similar to the story that person... Here's how what you're saying relates to me and my fans. You do that great.
Okay. Are you saying I'm kind of smart?
I'm saying you're good at what you're doing.
Damn it, I was going for smart.
Hey,
Dude,
you're smart.
I beat on drums. I'm not that fucking smart.
You do a great job at that. Then you asked me some other, what else could I do?
Right.
And the first thing I was going to tell you, the first couple podcasts you did, you just asked, it was a straight interview, and that's fine. I have one of my favorite podcasts, a straight interview, and we'll talk about that later when we talk about what I'm listening to.
Right.
But you now have segments.
I do.
Where you have the social media issues, stories from the stage, or stories from the booth, or whatever you're going to do. You have segments.
I do.
And I think that's important to fans of podcasts. They like to have those.
I agree. And because we're talking about this on my podcast, one of the things I've actually never talked about on the show in depth was and I'm not saying this for sympathy, it's just a fact, the brutal process it was for me to learn all this shit and learn how to do it. I play drums. I'm good at that. I drink coffee. I'm good at that. I hang out with my wife. I'm good at that. Doing that shit right there, I'm not so good at it.
You're actually pretty good at it.
Well, here's what I've figured out. Thank you for the compliment. But here's what I've figured out why I'm good at that. And it's very ironic. I think, not 100% sure, but I think the reason I'm good at doing this shit is from sitting in studios of all the shit I've recorded over the years, obsessively watching the Pro Tools screen.
As we watch.
As I'm looking at...
We're watching the waves record.
The waves, yep.
I don't know.
I think that's the only reason that I'm good at that part, because I do this all. I don't know if anybody even knows this, because again, I've never talked about it on the show. I do everything myself. I edit the whole thing. I put on the music. I do all the fades. I do everything. I don't have a producer. I'm a one-man fucking show.
Literally a one man, one microphone.
High five in that microphone. Fucking show.
That was terrible. Look at the elbow. We've talked about this.
I was looking at your face. Oh my God, you're so cute.
Stop it. What you do is ask good questions.
Thank you. I try.
You ask good questions. You prompt the person to talk about themselves. Like I was telling you earlier when I called you, I was like, I'm so excited about doing this because I've interviewed Joe Perry. I've interviewed Kid Rock. I've interviewed Kurt Hammett. I've interviewed a million people. Don't do it yet. I know what you're looking at. I know that look. I've interviewed a million people, but I've never been interviewed before today. Nice. Someone asking me questions. I was so excited. My wife's like, "You're going to some guy's house in the East End, 22 miles away." I was like, "Yeah, somebody's interviewing me. Somebody's interviewing me, and they're going to give me coffee."
Well,
and he's for once, by the way, Stephen O'Reilly, for once, has booze in his coffee.
I do.
It's because of Scott Clark.
That's true. By the way, on the show, in the microphone, whatever you want to call it, thank you for the gifts of the booze in my coffee.
You mean the special backpacks I got for you and Stacey?
I wasn't going to say anything about that. I was talking about booze in my coffee, but yeah.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Four Roses, for getting Steven and Stacey a huge backpack full of cool shit.
Now we could talk about a 4 Rose sponsorship.
Everybody, Ryan Murphy called me for that the other day. I was like, no. Call the. I told him what to do. But everybody,
I'll edit that out.
And don't edit that out. Ryan loves me. He called me that. I was like, people call me
some Ryan.
People call me for sponsorships all the time. Like, that's not how this works. You would think Scott Clark would just write a check or make a phone call. And could I do that for the right thing? Probably could. But no, you need to go to the proper channels and get that shit done. Here's how you do it. Now, I'll tell them how to do it. Now, we were talking about segments for your show, and I was so happy.
Pause. I can't contain this anymore.
Okay.
My favorite story that you have ever told me. Just one. I've told 100 people if I've told one.
I can't wait for this. I'm setting my shit down.
It's super short. You can pick your notebook back up because it's super short.
I think I might know what it is.
I don't know. I don't even know where we were. We were at a gig, and you were talking about hanging out with Nickelback. I think might have been you. I think the show that you were with them at was at LRS Fest.
I've never been to LRS.
Okay, then that wasn't it.
Fuck LRS.
Fine, but the point I'm getting at is you told me this story that you were sitting next to Chad Kroeger, and you
hanging. No, I was hanging. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be a good story.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, this is at the Radio Music Awards.
That's what it was. Okay.
This goes into that night with 4 other people. Elton John, Daryl McDaniels, Nickelback, Crossfade, Jim Rome, and Cocaine. It was the craziest night. So I'm doing the Radio Music Awards. This is going to be a long story. You got a minute?
I got plenty of minutes. I was just sighing about Crossfade.
So I'm doing the Radio Music Awards in Vegas. We're staying at what's now Planet Hollywood. At the time, it was... Who gives a shit?
Doesn't matter.
It's what's Planet Hollywood now. My boss, Michael Lee, was supposed to go with me. I'm at the airport on that morning going, "Where are you, man? Our plane's leaving. You got 45 minutes. Where are you?" Never got a phone call. Never got a nothing. So I go to the Radio Music Awards to broadcast by myself. Go to my room. "Hello, Mr. Clark. Yes, you've been upgraded to the penthouse suite." Okay. Go to the penthouse suite, walk in the room, and there's a 1/4 ounce of cocaine. Now, I don't know if, listen, I'm not a big cocaine guy. I'm not saying I've never done it. I'm saying I'm not a huge cocaine guy.
I don't like
There's
cocaine.
a 1/4 ounce of cocaine, which is about the size of 2 golf balls, sitting on the coffee table of this hotel room that I'm not even supposed to have. There's also 8 tickets to see Elton John. Elton John was going to do a run at Caesars, which he still does.
Right.
He was going to do a run, and this was the grand opening night, celebrities only. And I've got 8 tickets with a
pound of cocaine.
Basically, to me, I'm like, holy shit, who left a softball full of cocaine in my room? I was a very popular person that weekend.
I would imagine that you were, sir.
So I basically gave it all away. Most of it away. I go outside, and I meet a bunch of people from Premier Radio Networks, which were the guys from Jim Rome show at the time.
Right.
They became my best friends. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I run into Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC. And I went, I want to tell you, in 1984, I had a bootleg cassette of your all's first album, and I went to a breakdance contest at the OD Pavilion in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, whipped out cardboard, threw out some sand, and started breakdancing. And I started doing it to your all stuff, and they're like, "What is that?" And I went, "It's called rap. It's out of New York." They didn't know what it was. And to this day, because of him, that was my start into rock music. Think about it. Run DMC was rock box.
Oh, basically.
It was rap and roll is what I called it.
Right.
Because of that, I'm here where I'm doing tonight to interview you tomorrow. Thank you. And he was like, that's the sweetest thing that anyone's ever told me. And this is right after Jam Master Jay got shot.
Right.
So he's like, that's the sweetest thing everybody told me. Gave me a hug, interviewed him the next day, and I said, what's it like to be an inventor? You know, got Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. You're the inventor of what I call rap and roll. And he went, rap and roll? I like that. I'm going to trademark it. And I went, too late. I already trademarked. You're going to pay me. And he laughed and he hugged me. And DMC to this day, still friend. We still talk every now and then.
Nice. Not
very often. You know, it's not one of those things.
No, I get it.
What's up, Han? What's happening, Holmes?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Holmes?
What's up?
That's it. So I go that night. I get the tickets. We end up going to all these people from Premier Radio Networks. I'm giving them all the said white powder substance. Everybody's my best friend. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is, I mean, think about it. Anybody that's ever done cocaine, you get a little bag. It's the size of a marble.
Right.
This is the size of a softball. I'm like, I don't know what to, I'm just, here you go. I was everyone's best friend. Mm-hmm. So the guys from Premier Radio Networks and I went to Caesars, which they were doing a kind of a premiere for Elton John. He was going to do that stint at Caesars.
Right.
So he's going to do a performance. And it's set up like an airplane terminal. So everybody got airplane. I still have the baggage. Like you get a free suitcase bag.
Oh, like a rolly bag.
Yeah, rolly bag. You get all this free gear in it. You get it and you sign in with your little check in with your wristband and everything. So everybody's like being treated. 100 people went to this event for Elton John. There's only 100 people there. And me and my 7 new best friends that have weird white substances all over their nose are going with me to this concert.
Wipe your nose, brother. Wipe your nose.
And I'm not kidding. You're showing. You're showing. You're showing. And I kid you not, I sat, if I can imagine anybody's house, from your couch to your TV, that's how close I am to Elton John as he does 15 songs.
Oy.
Elton John.
No.
I'm there, and there's only 100 people. I open the door.
It's Elton fucking John.
I open the door, and the guy from Train, the lead singer from Train,
Pat something.
Pat, yeah. Oh, I opened the door for him. He's like, "Thanks, man." I went, "I don't open for you, man. I open for your wife." And he thought it was funny and gave me a
high five in the microphone.
He did, and he thought it was hilarious. I walk in, I see, God, what can't I think of his name? John Waite, who's in the Babies. Was in Bad English. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about? John Wayne.
I do. I know exactly who you're talking
about. I walked right up to him, and I'm a fucking asshole, but it was I'm funny. I walked right up to him and went, "Hey, I'm the 7th guy that bought the 2nd Bad English album." He should have punched me in the face. And instead, he laughed, gave me a high five on the microphone, and said, "That's great, man. You got a cigarette?" And we went outside and I smoked with John Waite and we hung out. And literally that whole weekend, I hung out with John Waite.
Nice.
Now that's another story.
Yeah.
So then this is all in the same night, the same 1 hour before the concert and hour of the concert. So I walk into the bar and get a drink. There's fucking Jose Canseco. And I go, look around, look over my shoulder both ways. And I went, "Come on, man, dude, the Bash Brothers." It's like, no, man, I can't. If I do the Bash Brothers with you, I got to do it. It's like, shut up, man. Do it real quick, low. And he's like, all right. And so we did the Bash Brothers down low.
I don't know what that is.
Bash Brothers is a sports term. Him and Mark McGuire, when they would hit home runs and they would run around the bases, one would hold their arm this way, they hold the other, and they would do basically X's. And they called themselves the Bash Brothers.
Gotcha.
Back in the Oakland A's days when they were hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah, that's
Bash
that
Brothers.
whole.
He's like, I can't do it with you. If I do it with you, I got to do it with everybody. Shut up, man. Just give me one real quick. And he went, looked behind him and went, boom, hit me one real quick.
Nice.
So it was really cool. So then I'm sitting there, and to think about this, I've already met the guy from Train, Elton John. John Waite and I are now smoking and best friends. Jose Canseco and I have just done Bash Brothers. Ryan, the guitar player, and Chad Kroeger from Nickelback walk in. And now I've already interviewed both of them when I was at the Fox more than once.
Right.
I guess part of me assumed that I knew them or that they would know who I was.
Right.
Well, let's just say they didn't. But I walked up and I started patting them. Like you're patting down an arrest, somebody that's under arrest. Start patting down their pockets, and they really have no idea who I am. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? What you got? What you got? Oh, what's it at? It's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm looking for the chart. They're like, the chart of what? And I went, the chart of how you all continually write hit songs over and over again. And they looked at each other, stopped for a second, smiled, and went, I want to go buy you a drink. And we hung out and drank the rest of the night. Now, here's the funny thing. People fucking hate Nickelback.
I do not.
I don't at all. If you don't, fine. Listen, I don't like a lot of bands. I don't like a lot of metal. I can name a million bands I don't like. But if you don't respect Nickelback, you're a fucking fool.
I agree.
Because they have a way of, at that time, writing songs. And it was a perfect pattern. And I told Chad that night. So it's where you start acoustically, you build it up, and then you bring in the electric guitar, chunk, 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 and then drums, bum, 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 boom, and then there's your chorus.
Yep.
You do the same thing. You have your little beginning line, then you have your hook that builds up to another hook, that builds up to another hook, and then you bring it back around, then you have a bridge, then you go back down.
Yep.
It's up and back down. They do it every song they've ever written.
Yep.
Now listen, I didn't purposely buy any Nickelback albums.
Right.
But when it comes on my shuffle, I don't turn it off.
I've said it before on this show. I think the Elitist Music Snob episode that I did, which was a solo show. For you fuckers that are listening, if you haven't heard it, go back and find it. It's good. And I said that on that show. You can't say anything sucks. You can say you hate it. You can say
you don't like it.
Don't like it. You'd rather get kicked in the balls than listen to it. But it does not suck. Any band that has sold 80 million records does not fucking suck. They win.
You're right.
And Chad said the greatest line ever that I've heard a band like them say. Or a band in that situation, I should say.
Got one to follow up.
Well, this was just a few months ago. He was on Eddie Trunk doing a Sirius XM thing. And Eddie brought up, what do you think the deal is with the Nickelback hate? And he busted out laughing. And he basically just kind of said, I think we're an easy target, but I really don't care because my bank account says I win.
When he did, what was the Spider-Man soundtrack? When him and Josie Scott.
Yeah, from
now listen,
Seether.
No, it was Saliva.
Saliva. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Sorry.
Saliva, and they did that Spider-Man soundtrack
Yeah,
song.
I know the song you're talking about.
I became pretty good friends with Saliva, Josie, the band, Scotty, their tour manager. I've got another story about that. Don't let me forget about it because that's my Stevie Nicks story.
Ooh, okay.
But Scotty and I, we became friends, and I went out and anytime they were anywhere in town, I would hang out with them. I honestly believe that the song from Saliva that Nikki Sixx, your good friend, wrote on, that's another story from the Radio Music Awards that I don't want to miss.
You talking about Saliva's
Piece of Me?
first big hit?
No, I'm talking about, that's Click, Click, Boom. I'm talking about the third album where they did
The ballady type song?
Piece of Me, Pieces of Me.
That was not Nikki Sixx. That was James Michael. James
Now,
Michael
I heard you
wrote that
talking
song.
about that earlier.
Yeah,
Well,
James Michael
anyway,
wrote that song.
Nikki gets credit for that.
He does.
Now, I remember being on a tour bus
James Michael gets the
in
check.
Indianapolis. I was on a tour bus in Indianapolis doing substances with a certain so-called member of Saliva. And he was playing that song for me on a right-handed guitar, played upside down, left-handed. And I just started singing harmonies to what he was doing.
Nice.
And that ended up on the album. I'll never get credit. No one will ever believe me about that, but I have one of my best friends in the world, Andrew Pike, was sitting with me when I did that.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, the harmonies on that song...
Are you?
I wouldn't say they're me. I would say they might be inspired by me.
Nice. Very cool.
So basically, with the Nickelback, I basically patted them on the shoulder, on their pants, and went, "Where's the chart? What are you talking about?" I was like, "I wanted that piece of music that you have that says."
Well, wait. You were going somewhere with the Spider-Man song.
That was the Spider-Man song.
Okay.
Here's the best story.
Yeah.
So I went back years later, and because Josie had told me he ripped me off, he stole that. I wrote the whole song. That was on me. He came. I made $10,000 for that whole song. And Chad Kroeger, he's a businessman. He goes, they asked me to do that soundtrack. They asked me to do a song. I gave him $10,000 to help me write a song, and I spent $100,000 on the studio time to do that song out of my own pocket, and it became a hit. Now what am I supposed to do? Pay him his $10,000? Not pay him his $10,000? Or not keep all the profits when I spent all the money and risked every dime for that one recording of one song to help my buddy out? And now he's mad at me about that? Tell Josie Scott to come see me, and then I'll tell him to go fuck himself. And I went, you and I are great friends. So Chad and Ryan from Nickelback, if you don't like Nickelback, you're stupid. If you believe that whole bullshit, that they're not a great band, they're an amazing band.
Dude, they're stupid good live.
What's his face left 3 doors down to join Nickelback? The drummer.
Daniel Adair.
Yeah.
Who is a monster
drummer. Monster drummer. I mean, you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Ryan Murphy. He loves that double crash. He does better. Where you just finish that last note where you go da 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 da. Yep. Love him. Love Daniel Adair. You're right.
Daniel Adair.
Amazing drummer.
He's a good
And then his brother's on bass. And you got Ryan that stayed in the band all those years. Mm. Look at this photograph. Oh, yeah. Hey, look at this photograph of $1 million check. Those songs are great.
Dude, they're good.
I don't care if you like them or not. There's a lot of bands that I don't like, but I respect.
Absolutely. It's turned into the past 3 or 4 episodes I've talked about that.
So,
the Stevie Nicks story.
No, let's go back to the Nikki Sixx.
Oh, the Nikki Sixx story.
Because you're...
Wait, Stevie Nicks, Nikki Sixx.
Now, they all kind of go inside together.
Yeah.
You got time?
Dude,
how are we doing on
time? I got as much time as you want.
So, same weekend, Radio Music Awards. Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind, this is at Planet Hollywood, whatever it was at the time, I can't remember. But it's, imagine 4 ballrooms. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about like huge wedding ballrooms where you got R&B, hip hop, country, and rock. 4 different ballrooms with 60 radio broadcasters in each one of those. So there's 240 and everybody's connected to a line to an ISDN.
And musicians? Boy, that's a lot of fucking ego in that building.
I mean, literally, it was so hot. Not to mention the big, huge ball. Softball size. So there's 60 broadcasters in every room, times 4. 200, I'm 200. So let's carry the one. You know what it is. It's been a lot of people. A lot of motherfucking people. And
that's a lot of motherfuckers.
And that day, Darren McDaniels came by. You look at my Facebook page, it's me and Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. Nice. I mean, I can sit here and go on and on. Chad came by. So Nikki comes by. Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue comes by. And he's like next to, and literally they're going from table to table in each room. So he comes by, and I'm probably the 15th person at the table. I'm all whacked out of my brain. It's been a long weekend. Nikki Sixx come by, and I go, "Hey, Nick, how's Brides of Destruction doing?" He's like, "Oh, man, that's great." I was like, "I saw your spins last week on Billboard." He's like, "Oh, yeah." So he obviously knew that I knew who he was and what Brides of Destruction was, his side project.
Right.
No, it's like, "Man, I'm not on the air for another 15 minutes. Do you want to go do a broadcast and come back? I don't want to waste your time." He goes, "Fuck these jabronis. You know who Brides of Destruction are. How about I just sit down here and have a cigarette with you for 15 minutes?" And I went, Have a seat, Nick. Now, this is Las Vegas. It's a showroom. It's a non-smoking room. He lights up a cigarette. Who's going to tell Nikki Sixx not to smoke?
True.
So I pulled up my coffee cup, slide it up next to him, light up a cigarette too. And then we commenced to start telling Motley Crue stories versus Whatever Will stories. Now, I'm a local, regional, whatever you want to call it, cover band in Louisville. We played from Chicago to Panama. We did 27 cities for 17 years.
Right.
But I'm still telling him local band stories, Motley Crue stories.
Right.
Here's his story. They're on a bus on the Dr. Feelgood tour.
Right.
They're on a bus from somewhere in Wisconsin to Des Moines, Iowa, and they're
Pause. Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Okay, carry on.
So they're on their way. They're driving basically down in farm country.
Right.
Doc McGee, their manager, is playing on his laptop, doing his business, and they all get up. And this is Tommy, Mick, Nikki, and Vince. Mm-hmm. They all come up and they go, "This is fucking bullshit, man. Fucking played last night. Why are we not on a fucking jet? I can't believe we're driving through fucking Iowa on a bus. It's 12 o'clock. I'm hungover. There's no hookers. We got no blow. This is bullshit." If I didn't, Doc McGee goes, looks out the window. He goes, "What's that guy doing?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Look out the window. What's that guy doing?" And so Vince, Mick, Nikki, Tommy look out the window, and there's a guy out in the field in Iowa digging post holes. Now, if you ever worked a post hole digger, if you're a working man, you know what? It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Stamp, pull, pick up, dump. Stamp, pull, pick up, dump.
Yeah, I've
over and over again.
I've done it.
And they went, he's digging he's digging post holes. We get it. All right, we're going to go back to bed. And they were basically going, "Oh, we could be doing that. You jabronis could be doing, all four of you should be doing that." And you made $1 million last night a piece, and they were making $1 million a night on that Dr. Feelgood tour. $1 million a night a piece. And they're bitching that because it was better for the tour management. Like you said, Jesse said the other night on your podcast, where that one gig in the field somewhere.
Oh yeah, paid for the entire
tour. And Doc McGee, the most successful band manager ever, goes,
ever.
"Fuck you guys. You should be digging post holes. Go back to bed." And they all went, "I'm sorry, Doc." Go back to bed. And that's the story that Nikki Sixx told me.
That's awesome. That's fucking cool.
And my story to Nikki Sixx was, I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I was with Billy Masterson. He was in Whatever Will at the time. When we played Chattanooga, it's the weirdest shit in the world. The Velcro Pygmies hooked us up in Chattanooga.
Right.
They were starved for entertainment. It's the only thing I can think of. This weird bar had a 4x8 stage, and I mean 4x8. So everyone was one after the other in a straight line with 4 feet in front of them. And you could either stand on the little stoop, or people would stand on the stoop. Stoop. But it was weird. We would go to the mall, and people would run outside and go, "Can we get your autograph?" And we're like, "You realize we're playing other people's music? Yes, you can have my autograph." We would go to the mall and get hounded like the Beatles. It was the weirdest shit. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Chris. Thank you to the Velcro Pygmies for doing what they did. But to this day, you say the name Whatever Will and Chattanooga, Tennessee, and people go, "Who? What?" It's the weirdest thing. Ask anyone that's ever been in the band. So I'm there at the bar with Billy Masterson. He was in the band for a while, and I love Billy in the Stephen Clark's band. Why can't I think? Oh, come on.
Asshollers.
Yes.
Took me a second.
So Billy Masterson, he was in Whatever Will for a while, and him and Frank were really good friends, and Frank, we're still the best friends ever.
Right.
So Frank and Billy and I are at the bar, and some guy walks up and kind of whispers in our ear and goes, "You want some Ritalin?" And I can't believe the funniest thing I ever said back was, "What, am I not paying attention to you?" I never get credit for that. That was, come on. What am I not paying? Get it, Ritalin, ADD.
Do you see how red
attention,
my face is?
Attention
I
deficit.
got it.
What am I not paying attention to you? There's many, many, many other stories from Chattanooga that I can never tell you. But all right. I've hijacked. I literally have a note written down in my book that says, "This is Steven's interview. It's not yours." I can't help myself.
Dude, this show's always about me because my name's on it. So whoever I'm hanging out with, it's about you.
What's next?
You like how I did that, don't you?
I do. You like that, don't you?
That my name's on it?
You texted me that somewhere. Then you like that, don't you?
Oh, I probably did.
That's pretty awesome. Awesome. I do like that, by the way.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's good times. Good times.
So let's move on to social media issues. All right, so what do you got for me for social media issues? Because I know you got some shit.
I think everything that everyone said in the last few episodes, I agree with 100%.
Yeah, I keep saying this, and I don't know when I'm going to pull the trigger, but I think social media issues is probably going to have to go bye-bye soon. I'm out of shit to talk about with it.
No. I've got a whole list of stuff for your new segments. Game shows. What are you watching on Netflix? Ghost stories. Giveaways, live giveaways. Look, I'm a radio guy. This is what I do.
I need swag first, fucker.
I think I've given you swag tonight.
Yeah, but I need swag that's got my logo on it.
You have to buy that yourself.
I know.
I think we start there. Social media. When you said this, I was going to do the political, stop talking political. My wife and I are on 100% ends of the spectrum, negative, positive,
right,
of social media. Or I'm sorry, on political. We don't talk about it. She can be her way. I can be my way. We make it work together.
Right. Well, you have to.
When she posts some fake news bullshit from the other side, I'm like, stop posting this shit. This is not, this is fake. And I mean, I would be more on the liberal side. She's more on the Trump side. I'm like, unless you know it's true, don't post it. Why even get involved in it? Don't do anything. I don't do it, so you don't do it. We vote when the vote came up for Indiana and for the primary last month. Neither one of us voted because we knew we would just negate each other. There was one guy, Jason Applegate, who's married to a friend of mine named Angie Fenton, that I voted for, and I told my wife I'm voting for this one guy. She voted for the guy too. We know the guy is going to be good for our community, but no, we didn't vote for anything else. We refused to because we know we're just going to negate each other.
I need eye drops. I got the glaze. I'm glazing so hard right now.
Because I don't do politics either, man. I just be honest. That's all I give a shit about.
Right.
So here's the issue, not issue, but here's something that happened. There was a girl, I don't want to say her name, that friended me on Facebook.
Right.
I saw her picture and I was like, I remember that girl. We do what we do.
Right.
You never say no to somebody unless they're doing. You look at them and go, well, that's a fucking whack job. You don't do it. As long as they're not a whack job, they're a fan of me. I'm gonna sure
For the most part,
and
yeah.
I can unfriend them, unfollow, like whatever Ryan said too. That's fine. So a friend of somebody that I remembered
sent you a friend request,
and I accepted it. And she kept trying to private message me. And then finally on Saturday, she was like, hey, yo. And I went, yo. Hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I kept telling my wife, I was like, I know this girl. I know her picture. But I'm not sure. I can't, it's so embarrassing. I don't remember where I know her from.
Right.
I know her, but I can't remember how I know her.
right?
And she's like, I'm so-and-so's little sister. And the guy she's talking about is a great guitar player. Fucking amazing. He's whack job, but he's a great guitar player. I was like, okay, I remember who you're talking about, but how do we know each other? Which group of friends? What time period? I've lived here all my life. How do we know each other?
Right.
She starts basically professing her association with me. And she was like, and then I start seeing her start looking at all my pictures and like, and there's 45 likes, and I'm going, this is getting a little weird. And then she's friend requests my wife. As I'm sitting next to my wife, she's like, I don't know who this broad is, My wife's used the word broad.
That's
I love that
fantastic.
broad. Who is this broad?
Who is this broad? That's awesome.
So she declines it, and she's like, "Your fucking wife just declined me." And I was like, "Listen, I know your face, and I know this sounds terrible. I've done a lot of things over my life to where I don't
softball,
golf ball. I don't remember everything." And she starts going, "Well, you know me from this person, this person, this person." And she started naming names and who is associated, and they're not all adding up. My wife's, she's Republican, kind of paranoid, going, "I think this might be a scam. She's trying to get us." Like, nobody's gonna get us. You like,
what are they gonna get?
What are they gonna get? We got LifeLock, sponsor of the Stephen O'Reilly podcast, Bar Stars, LifeLock. Nobody's gonna get us. So she says, "Your wife just unfriended, refused my da-da-da." And I'm like, "Listen, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'm sure I know your face looks familiar. It's me, Scott." And I'm like, I'm gonna stop responding. And then within 30 minutes, delete, no longer a friend, unfollow, unfriend, And I was like, who does that? Who likes 45 of your things, talks to you on a random Saturday, and then when you don't remember who they are after 25 years, unfriends everything and deletes you as a friend?
Ooh, I know.
Ooh, who is it? Stephen O'Reilly.
Crazy bitches.
Crazy bitches. Bitches be crazy. Wait, you're doing Buck Cherry? She's a crazy bitch.
I made some money off that song. Wait, what?
So that's that was one of the things that, and then the other social media issue that I thought of the other day, and I want to use his name because he's one of my best friends. I've known him for years. We've been in a band together. He was upset that he put something on Facebook and no one showed up to his gig, and I was like, "Did anybody see my post? Did anybody come see my gig?" And I went, "Yeah, we all saw it. We all had shit to do. We're all 40. I'm 46. Oh, we're 40 to 50 years old. We got kids, puppies, houses. We don't all go out anymore. I appreciate that you're still out there working. And anytime I get a chance to go see you, I'm going to be the first one there cheering you on. I'm going to get up on stage and sing with you. But don't get upset when Facebook is your only way of marketing shit.
I agree.
Get one of those apps where you do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do it all at once and put it on everything. And then, what I did back in the day is I got email lists.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he was even in a band with me when I was doing email lists. Give me your email address. Let's make it personal.
Right.
I'll email you personally and go, "Playing this, and this. When can you make it?" "No problem. I'll put you on a guest list on this night, because I have this month." You do that kind of stuff. You just throw something on Facebook and expect all your fans to show up. It's not going to happen.
No. Well, the other thing, too.
It's too much.
It is too much. The other thing with that, because I'm still, quote, actively in the scene, if that's what the fuck you want to call it, because I still gig so much, is I think a lot of people, and I think Ryan Murphy actually said this the best when he was on my show.
He did. I know what you're going to say.
Make people aware is the best that you can do. People were going to do what they want to do because exactly what you just said. I'm tying you and Ryan together. Listen, I play in bars. I play in casinos. I play weddings. I play corporate events. When I'm off, I'm probably not coming to see you play.
I'm off.
I'm
going to sit at home. How often do I get to sit at home?
I've spent 20 to 25 years in bars behind my drums.
100%.
And I love all of you dearly. High five in the microphone. Okay, I love most of you dearly. But when my wife's off and she's running around the house in a t-shirt, no bra, you fuckers lose.
I'm gone. I'm staying right.
I'm home.
Why do I want to go anywhere?
Exactly.
I've done this my entire life.
Yep.
Somebody said to me once,
and before you say that, if you get offended by that, that's on you.
You, not on me.
Nope.
we were
synced up.
Echo.
We were
literally.
There's the first one.
I know it.
We were synced on that one. Because but that means that you get it, and it's not like 100%. A philosophy. It's a fucking fact.
I can't tell you. People go, so you produced U of L football and basketball. You flew around with the team. You watched every game, basketball and football, for 7 years. You flew with the team. You knew every one of those people. How do you sit at home and that not bother you? And I went, I had to fucking sit at home. I get to have a beer. I got a TV with a remote that has DVR, and I get to rewind. I can blow it up. I can watch it in real time. I can pause it, go take a piss. For 7 years, I had to sit there. I got cussed out by Rick Pitino. One of the greatest stories ever. Got cussed out by Rick Pitino. I had to sit there every night, not move, not do anything. If I had to, literally, it was like, I got to piss it off, boss man. Paul Rogers would go, which button do I hit? That button. Okay. I'd go piss.
Right.
So to sit at home and not have to do anything at this age, it's not that I miss going out? You know what? Really, I don't. Someone said to me one time, it was like, man, I said, I didn't get a birthday party. I can't remember what it was. I didn't get a birthday party. No one cared about this. I was feeling sorry for myself. And somebody went, your fucking life is a party. Aren't you happy with that? And I went, yes, I am. I did from, 15 years, whatever it was, and whatever will, 7 years on the radio, 7 with whatever will, 10 in what I do now for liquor and wine.
Right.
My life has been a party. So when I get to sit home and do nothing, and people are upset about that, fuck you.
That's on you.
I get to sit at home. I finally get to watch a U of L football game on TV, on a 55-inch screen TV, and rewind and watch whatever I want to, drink, piss, whatever I want to do. I mean, the whole time I was literally with my hands on a soundboard.
Right.
Paul, coming up next, we got a spot on the next. We got to make sure you hit the spot on the next one. Going down the field. Doug or me on the field. Let's go to the Doug. Let's go to Doug.
Right, it's too much sports. Calm down.
I mean, same thing. But I mean, I'm just saying the thing about producing.
Right.
That was my life.
Well,
and now I get to watch it on TV.
Right. And again, this is not sympathy. This is just a fact. I'm so busy now with all the bullshit that I got my little fingers in on my DVR right now. I looked today because I was going to watch a show.
Literally.
No, I said I looked today.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say literally.
You just wanted to say it.
I did
That's
want to
okay.
say it. Literally.
You did good.
Thank you.
You did well. Excuse me. Correct English. You did well. Anyway, I looked on my DVR today because I had about an hour. I'm going to watch a show. It's going to be awesome. Pulled up my DVR. There are 73 shows on my DVR. I shut my TV off. I said, I need a fucking day off.
I get it.
So when I get a day off, and I don't get me wrong, I still go out and I hang out with some of my friends. I go see bands.
I don't.
But it's few and far between because of things like, I have 73 shows on my DVR because I'm so fucking busy.
I got rid of my DVR.
I can't do that. There's too many shows I like.
You can. You can.
No, let me rephrase that. I don't want to because there's too many shows I like.
I love a lot of shows. I do. A lot of them are on Netflix now. A lot of them are only in my realm of what I can do and what I can't do.
Right.
I've at 47 almost 47. I only have so much time. And
I
want more and more time with my wife, my puppies,
That's
my
right, man.
in-laws. All my entire family is dead.
Right.
Except for my sister, who's just survived cancer.
Yes, she
So
has. I've been keeping up with that.
all I care
That's
about.
awesome, by the way.
All I care about is that's it. I don't care.
I get it.
I go
get
camping. I got taking the RV out this weekend. That's all I care about.
Right.
I just want family, puppies, friends. Sometimes I bring the guitar. Most of the time, I don't.
Right.
I don't. I have my headphones. Thank you, Frank Green, for fixing my MTX earbuds. Make sure that owner of the MTX. I had some MTX for the gig we did for Jason Schneider's nephew that you all played.
Oh, yes.
I
yes,
won
yes,
the
yes,
MTX
yes.
earbuds and the headphones.
Right.
The earbuds went bad. And so they were just defective. They didn't get made properly. So I had my wife for our anniversary this year. I got her a car charger. That's what she wanted. I was like, fix these headphones. And she emailed the company and they went, if you don't have a receipt, and he's like, he got it at a charity event. He's like, you don't have it, you can't get it. You got the UPC? She's like, yeah, I got the UPC. Here's the box. Yeah, I need the receipt. And I was like, Frank, where'd you get these from? He goes, they'll be there Friday. The owner of MTX, Frank knows the owner of MTX headphones. And he goes, who's the girl in customer service? And I gave him he basically called the owner of MTX and had him email the girl from customer service. And he goes, oh, okay, they'll be there on Friday. It's good to know people, man. It is.
That's true.
I don't even know where that was going, but
I don't either, but that's
Frank Green is my best friend, and I love Frank Green. If you don't know Frank Green, you better go look him up.
I do know Frank Green, and I've played with Frank Green once or twice. Never live, a couple of rehearsals, but I don't
Changed my life.
I don't know if Frank listens to this show.
He
you
will.
need to change that.
He will. He changed my life. He absolutely changed my life.
Do you know the Ugly Story?
I
Not
don't.
the band, not about the band, but my ugly story that has to do with me.
Does it have something to do with Joe?
I love Joe.
I would guarantee if there's a story, because it's not. Well, it could be Donnie, most likely Joe, but it's certainly not Kevin. Certainly not Frank. If it's bad.
How about we do this?
All right, go ahead.
We'll get to stories from the stage in a second, and then I'll tell you.
All right.
Because you're going to get stories from the booth.
Oh man, I've got so much stuff to go.
Before we get there, what else you got for social media issues? Is that pretty much it? You got more? What you got?
People need to keep their political, like everybody else has said, coming on here. There's no reason for that shit.
My favorite thing.
We are dividing America.
Absolutely.
Listen, I am not a fan of what's going on right now, but I'm also very hopeful that it goes better. I'm not going to say one side or the other. I think you can kind of tell which side I am, which side my wife is on. You got two people in the same house that are on total separate ends of the spectrum.
Right.
But we both hope it goes best for America. And the more the people say on social media and they say bullshit, I call her on her bull. I don't post anything. I don't, just like Jesse said, I stopped doing that shit.
Right.
And Ryan Murphy's was pretty hey Bernie. he was pretty Bernie Sanders. And that's fine. But I mean, there's no reason on social media. It should be for keeping up with friends, family, and fun stuff.
No,
That's why I
agree.
have my real name on Facebook.
Right.
Because I know my company watches that. I'm a part of that with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. So I don't say anything stupid there.
Right.
I don't say anything that's really opinionated there. That's why I have my Instagram and my Twitter, which is Fake Scott Clark. So no, I was like, hey, it's Fake Scott Clark. It's not me. I can say anything I want to.
That explains that.
Yeah.
I was totally going to ask you about that, but you beat me.
Fake Scott Clark.
Now I get
It's
it.
not me. That's Fake Scott Clark. Everyone's got real Scott Clark at 22. I'm Fake Scott Clark, motherfucker. Yeah, that's not me. That's Fake Scott Clark. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fake one did it.
Who was the guy that talked about shooting? I don't know what you're talking about. Fake Scott Clark. So if you want to follow me at Twitter or Instagram, it's Fake Scott Clark.
It is.
And that is not me.
That's the other me.
That's the other me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I'm going to start saying this at least one point in every episode. Pipe down on the fucking negativity, kids.
You know what? Pipe it down. Simmer Donna, bitches. Calm down. Can't we all just get along?
Apparently not.
I guess not. All right.
All right, so let's move on to stories from the stage booth thingy mabob.
All right. From the stage
Really,
or from the...
motherfucker? Really? Music. Well, that's it, kids. That's the show for the week. That's the end of part 1 of my conversation with Scott Clark. Whew, I need a fucking nap. Dude wears me out. In a good way, though. It was a lot of fun. And dude's got stories for days. So make sure that you come back next week and check out part 2 of my conversation, my hang with a one wide-ass open Scott Clark. And as I say at the end of every episode, go do some shit.